Hey, happy Tuesday. So we actually have two stories to read today because it's getting real close to that special holiday at the end of this week. You remember what it is? Easter? Can you say Easter? So we need to finish hearing about what happened right before Easter so that we know what happened on Easter. So the first story is called The True King. Jesus and his disciples went to Jerusalem for the Passover feast. Jesus told two disciples to bring him a donkey. See the donkey? He told them where to find it. So sure enough, the disciples went, and exactly like Jesus said, that's where the donkey was. Now Jesus, he rode the donkey all the way to Jerusalem. You see him on the donkey? And a big crowd of people, they welcomed him. People waved palm branches and they put them on the road in front of Jesus. Sometimes in church you celebrate that, and it's sometimes called Palm Sunday. And they shouted, "Hosanna, Hosanna, blessed is the King of Israel." Now the leaders in Jerusalem, they did not like Jesus. They saw how many people were following him, and they were angry about it. Can you show me angry? They were jealous of Jesus. Now, a little bit later on, Jesus is with his disciples. This is our second story. It's called Washing the Disciples' Feet. Jesus and his disciples gathered together for a special Passover feast. Jesus knew he would be leaving them soon. After supper, Jesus removed his outer clothing. He wrapped a towel around his waist. Then he filled a bowl with water. Jesus washed and dried the disciples' feet one by one. When it was Peter's turn, he said to Jesus, "Lord, you should never wash my feet." Jesus answered, "I must wash your feet, for you to be part of my kingdom." Then he said to them all, "As I have washed your feet, you must wash each other's feet." By doing this, Jesus showed his friends how to love and serve one another. Jesus told them, "One of you will turn against me tonight." His disciples were shocked and said, "We would never do that." "Who will turn against you?" said John. "The one I give this piece of bread to," said Jesus. And he handed it to Judas, and he said, "Do what you must." Judas quickly left. So, the first story we heard today, Jesus was treated like a king. He rode in, and they were shouting, "Hosanna, Hosanna," and putting down palm branches, so he didn't even have to walk on the dirt, because they were laying all the palm branches out. And then in the second story, now, back then, washing someone's feet was something a servant would have done. So somebody who would have worked for somebody else. And they would have called the master or the person in charge of a house. He would have called the people who worked for him to come wash his guests' feet. But Jesus, he said, "No, I want to teach you to serve." And the king stooped down and washed his friend's feet. And he even told his friends, "I want you to do the same." So Jesus himself, he teaches us how to serve one another. The king that came in on that donkey and they shouted and had a little parade for, he was the one to teach us that we should always serve everyone else. So remember that. When you think about how you can be Jesus to other people, remember that he wants you to serve others. Have a great day.